Want to skyrocket your LEGO sales? Stunning photos are your golden ticket. In this video, I'll show you simple, affordable ways to capture professional quality images of your LEGO creations that will wow your audience and drive more sales. Let's transform your MOCs into showstoppers. Welcome to the second video of the third week of the BRICKSBIZ training program. Before getting into the practical details of monetizing your building instructions, it is interesting to take stock of how you are going to format and showcase your offer. This enhancement involves, for example, creating attractive visuals for your LEGO creations. This is what we will see in this lesson. In this lesson, I will show you the strong added value and the extremely positive impact that beautiful visuals will have on your buyers to boost your sales and boost the interest in your LEGO creations. During this lesson, you will learn simple techniques and tips that will allow you to significantly improve the photos you take of your MOCs. Even if the objective of this lesson is not to make you invest in additional equipment, if you have the ambition to significantly move upmarket, I will recommend equipment that will allow you to have an even greater impact on your final result, with the aim of making your future buyers want to buy your building instructions or kits even more. Get ready to take better pictures thanks to this new video from BRICKSBIZ training course. Thanks to the first 2 weeks of BRICKSBIZ training, you now have in your hands professional building instructions worthy of those provided by LEGO in its commercial boxes. This is a very big milestone, and you can clearly be proud of it. But to reach your ultimate goal of monetizing what you've produced, you'll also need to spend a lot of time showcasing and promoting your content. The bad news is that you still have a lot of work to do to get the word out about your creations and building instructions. The good news is that you are on the BRICKSBIZ training, and I will accompany you step by step in a practical way until the very end of the process in order to guarantee your success. To maximize the size of your success, you must promote your creations to people who know you, but also to the thousands of people who do not know you and who do not yet know the existence of your creations. I can make a simple analogy here with the world of gastronomy. Even the best restaurant around you, before building a solid reputation that guarantees it customers in droves and a long waiting list, had to go through a whole bunch of steps to build this reputation. For example, this restaurant had to invest in its storefront to make passers-by want to go in and sit down at a table. This restaurant also had to work on its communication to inform people who never pass by its street of its existence. Otherwise, even if it produced the best food in the world, you might simply not know that this restaurant exists. Once you know about this restaurant and have passed through its door, the service and quality of the food must be there. If not, you probably won't set foot in the restaurant again, and if your experience was bad, there's even a chance that you'll leave a negative review on a review site for that restaurant, which won't encourage new customers to come through the door as well. Conversely, if you really enjoyed your dining experience at that restaurant, you'll come back, talk about it, invite friends or family, and maybe even leave a very positive review of the restaurant on review sites. Your communication around your LEGO building instructions should follow exactly the same principles as for a restaurant. The building instructions you have produced are the delicacy that you serve in your own restaurant, and you want every gastronome who enjoys them to have the best possible experience so that they help you indirectly to build a good reputation around your work and your creations, and so that you can gradually sell more and more to more and more satisfied customers. As you can see, you will have to work on your restaurant front and make the whole world aware of your existence. Once you have acquired this reputation as an excellent restaurant, you will see that you will be able to reduce your efforts to convince your potential buyers that you offer quality food. You will almost only have to draw from your waiting list to fill your restaurant. Until you reach this status and this reputation, which I wish for you with all my heart, you will have to redouble your efforts to highlight your work. This enhancement begins with the creation of a very beautiful storefront for your restaurant. For the building instructions, this will first involve quality photos, which will make your prospects want to take an interest in your LEGO creations. Staying with the restaurant analogy, let's do a quick little test. You see 2 restaurant terraces on the screen. Ask yourself which restaurant you are most likely to sit in. Well, I think I don't need to spend time developing the answer to this question, which seems rather obvious. Well, for showcasing your LEGO MOCs, it's the same thing. Look at these pictures of Lego MOCs on the screen. Ask yourself the same question you asked yourself about restaurants a few seconds ago. If you were to buy building instructions for the giant Iron Man figure, which of the two photos would make you decide to buy or give you confidence in the quality of the building instructions you're going to buy? I think that's pretty self-explanatory, right? Let's also look at the diorama on the right side of the screen depicting a Star Wars battle scene. Despite the quality of the two original creations, one of them does not really engage me, if at all, as a buyer to take out my wallet. So you understand with these two examples that quality shots for your creations will greatly increase your chances of seeing your prospects go to the checkout for your building instructions. Let's look together at a concrete example, the factors that can make the difference in taking a beautiful photo, even if, like me, you are very far from being a professional photographer. You have on the screen a photo of the Lego MOC Merlin, created by Rickard Stensby, a Swedish Lego MOC designer and one I am lucky enough to partner with. What optimizes the quality of his photo, not to mention the technical components, are the following factors. First of all, the use of a plain background and a very clean background. This allows the Lego MOC to be highlighted very clearly. The viewer's eyes are not attracted by disturbing elements and can focus 100% on the quality of the model. Then, the image is very clear with very precise contours of the MOC. It was most certainly taken from a tripod without motion blur. The lighting of the Lego model is also interesting and worked. This gives a very beautiful rendering of the colors and a real enhancement of the model. The photo was taken in high resolution, which allows you to see all the details of the model. The camera's shooting angle is also very interesting. The model is taken at an angle that allows the dynamics of the Lego MOC to be highlighted. The photographer did not simply take a side photo of the MOC, but looked for a slightly different angle. Finally, the MOC was prepared so that the photo would magnify certain details, such as the nails in the floor or the books that are in the foreground. Other photos of the same MOC may highlight other parts of the model. In the case of this photo, the photographer has chosen to highlight certain details to the detriment of others, even if the latter remain visible. Let's go back for a moment to our previous comparison. You can see that all the features I just listed are also present in the beautiful photos that are on the screen, and by reciprocity, are missing for the most part in the lower quality photos. I hope that with this little comparison exercise, you are now completely convinced of the added value of taking beautiful photos for your Lego MOCs. But then, you will probably point out to me that you are not at all a professional photographer, and that in addition, you do not have the budget to invest in equipment to take the best possible pictures for your Lego MOCs. Well, no problem at all. In a few minutes, I'm going to give you a ton of tips so that you can drastically improve the quality of your Lego Creations photos, regardless of your ambitions to invest in professional photography equipment. I'm doing just a quick break in the video to let you know that if you're enjoying this free training, you're going to absolutely love the full BRICKSBIZ training course. BRICKSBIZ full training course, this is more than 25 hours of online content, an exclusive membership to a private Discord community full of business experts, a lifetime access to monthly live sessions, and tons of templates, bonuses, marketing strategies, and automation scripts to turn your passion for Lego bricks into a profitable business. It's completely risk-free to try. You have 14 days to explore the program, and if you're not satisfied, you'll get a 100% reimbursement. No questions asked, though I'm pretty sure you won't need it. So if you are looking for more information, just follow the link that appears underneath this video. I let you get back to the content of this free BRICKSBIZ training course video. You'll quickly realize that by applying a number of very simple tips, you have the possibility of taking professional-looking photos, reusing equipment that you probably already have. Of course, if you invest in equipment, you will have even more possibilities to improve the quality of your photos. But as you'll see in a few moments, this is not a deal breaker. These days, you no longer need to be a professional photographer to take great photos. So let's go over together, one by one, the characteristics that make a beautiful photo, and let's look together at what tips you can apply to improve the quality of your shots. Let's start with the plain background of the photo. If you don't have a budget to invest in this, You can take photos of your models in front of a plain wall or a wallpaper that isn't too busy. Although it is sometimes nice to put your Lego creation in a setting, I advise you to start with a minimalist background. People who will see the photo will then focus on the model and not on everything around it. If you are willing to invest a little on these background aspects, you can use, for example, a light box, which allows you to surround your model with light and have a uniform background color, usually white. Expect to pay a few $dozen for this option. If you want to invest to get an even more professional look, I recommend buying tripod-mounted roll-up backdrops. They will allow you to take pictures of your creations on a plain background, a bit like a professional photographer. Expect to pay between $50 and $150 to purchase this type of backdrop. Again, even if the effect of this type of background is really nice for your final photos, you see that taking a photo in front of a plain wall will cost you $0 and can very well do the trick. The second characteristic of a successful photo is that the image is not blurry. Very simply, so that your image is not blurry, you just need to have your smartphone or camera placed stably on a support. It is therefore better not to hold your camera in your hands, but rather to favor stabilization by another means. If you don't have the budget to invest in a photo tripod, a stack of boxes or books will do the trick to stabilize your camera before shooting. In this case, use a camera timer or your smartphone's voice commands to trigger the shot. This will prevent you from moving the camera at the last minute when you trigger the photo. If you're willing to invest a few bucks, buying a small tripod to hold your camera or smartphone can be very useful. If you are willing to invest a little more, purchasing a telescopic and adjustable tripod topped with a base to hold your camera will save you from having to move the boxes and books in your library. You will be able to more easily orient your shots and save time on your photography sessions. For this type of tripod, you can find very affordable starting prices on sites like Amazon, eBay, or Cdiscount. Again, I'll let you do it according to your budget. The third characteristic that will allow you to obtain very beautiful photos is good lighting. Lighting is one of the key elements of any photography, but on the other hand, it is also one of the elements that is often quite complicated to manage for people who are not excellent at taking photos, people like me. Whatever type of lighting you use, be careful not to overexpose or underexpose your model, that is to say, not to have too much or too little light illuminating your creation. In both cases, your model's photo will not highlight its various details, so you will quickly realize that you need to modify the lighting of your model in this case. Buying equipment to light your model can quickly become expensive, but if you really don't have a budget to invest in this improvement, you can, for example, take photos outdoors, trying to find a background as minimalist as possible and use natural light. In this case, favor times of the day when the sun will illuminate your models from the side and not directly, that is to say, rather at the very beginning or at the very end of the day. You can also take your photos indoors by placing your model near a window to benefit from soft natural light. You also have the option, without having to spend money, of using desk lamps that you have in your home to light up your Lego model. In this case, try to see how you can adjust the direction of the light flow to redirect it directly or indirectly onto your Lego model. If you are willing to invest in the lighting field, you will find LED lighting solutions for budgets starting at a few $dozen. You can use an LED light source and combine it with natural lighting or additional lamps. If you want to switch to more professional lighting, I advise you to invest in LED panels, which allow you to adjust the power, shades, and intensity of the light projected on your models, and in tripods or bases that allow you to stabilize these lights. This type of lighting is easily found on e-commerce websites from a budget that starts around $100. Even if it represents a big investment, because you will generally have to buy at least 2 projectors, this lighting really allows you to highlight your Lego model. If your budget is substantial, you can also invest additionally in filters or light reflectors, which can bring softer nuances to the lighting you set up. The fourth feature you can influence to take better quality photographs for your Lego MOCs is resolution. Nowadays, smartphones or recent cameras are able to take photos with very high resolution. To take a photo in maximum resolution, First, check on your smartphone that your shots are configured to be taken in the highest resolution. This is not always the case by default. If you're not lucky enough to have a smartphone, or your phone or camera is too old to take high-resolution photos, you can increase the size of your photos by using online tools that will extrapolate a higher quality photo. A website like waifu2x.net will allow you, for example, to enlarge the size of your photos for free while maintaining a good resolution. In this case, you can get photos in large dimensions and that keep a correct resolution even if your basic photo was in limited dimensions. If your budget allows it, I advise you to invest in a smartphone or a latest generation camera that will be able to offer you the best possible resolution and definition of images. You can find fairly recent secondhand smartphones, released only 1 or 2 years ago, on sites like backmarket.com or rakuten.com. These smartphones will guarantee you an HD or Ultra HD resolution, which is more than enough for your photo shoots. For a few dollars, you also have the possibility of going through websites or software that use artificial intelligence to improve the quality of your photos. Adobe Lightroom, Adobe Photoshop, or the website Remini.ai will allow you to greatly improve your photos thanks to the use of filters. Finally, if you are ready to break your piggy bank, you can purchase a new state-of-the-art smartphone or a professional camera or camcorder. You can also purchase lenses that will allow you to zoom in or highlight certain additional details of your Lego creations. However, in my opinion, investing in this type of equipment is not really necessary to take beautiful photos. I'll let you judge according to your means. The next characteristic you can influence is the right viewing angle for your photos. You can definitely work on this aspect without having to break the bank. Follow a few simple rules. For example, don't just take shots from the side of your model. Try to have a diving angle on specific parts of your model. Take photos of your model from different angles, from above, from below, or zooming in on specific details. If you are using a smartphone for your shots, an easy trick to implement is to take your photo by turning your smartphone over with the lens resting on the table your model is resting on and tilting your smartphone slightly before taking the shot. You will see that this very simple little trick allows you to give a whole other dimension to your mock. Just check in this case that your plain background is large enough to still appear in the photo. If you want to improve your photo taking and the best angles, you can spend additional time learning the basic rules of good photo taking. By searching on YouTube, you will find a ton of interesting tutorials to easily improve your photography skills. For example, you can learn the rule of 3, the rules of composition, creating depth of field, or adapting your focal point, and many other concepts that will allow you, at a low cost and without necessarily investing in professional equipment, to greatly improve the quality of your photos. Finally, if you are willing to dig deeper, it may be worth investing in some training to teach you how to master the different elements of good photography. You can find paid training courses that remain fairly affordable on the internet. I can only recommend the training from the site contentcreators.com, which I personally bought and followed, and which is very rich in content and at an affordable price. I will put a link to this training a little further on in this video. Finally, the last feature we mentioned for improving your photos is focusing on certain details of your creation. Again, without a budget, you have the possibility to play with the zoom or, even better, to move your camera closer to the model to take photos in tight angles, and therefore work on this aspect. You can optionally adjust your camera or smartphone photo settings to achieve a background blur with a solid background. You will see that certain parts of your module will really stand out. If you are willing to invest a few dozen dollars, you can equip your smartphone with an external zoom lens installed just in front of your smartphone's lens. Or if you use a reflex camera, you can invest in a fixed focal length lens. In this case, use settings to obtain a slightly blurred background and play with a wider aperture of your lens. This will allow you to add artistic effects to your photos. Finally, if you are really willing to open your wallet to improve the quality of your shots, you can invest in professional lenses, such as a prime lens, for example. Use the pro settings on your smartphone or camera and play with the aperture, the focal length, the white balance and other settings that will allow you to magnify the quality of your photos. So I hope that all these tips will help you take better photos to really highlight your MOCs and maximize your chances of converting your prospects into buyers. As you can see, you don't have to invest in any additional hardware at all. However, if you are looking to improve the quality of your content, I recommend thinking about small investments that can sometimes make a huge difference or save you valuable time setting up your photo shoots. For those of you who feel ready to invest, I'm giving you a list of recommendations for devices and equipment that will allow you to improve the quality of your shots. You will find, below this video, a whole set of links that will allow you to improve your overall configuration in different areas such as shooting devices, lighting devices, tripods, and all the equipment that will allow you to improve your backgrounds. I will update this list according to the different developments in the equipment. So the list below may no longer necessarily correspond to the equipment that is displayed on the screen. In any case, do not hesitate to go and look, even out of curiosity, at the recommendations below. As I mentioned earlier, I am also giving you links to 2 quality training courses that will allow you, if you are ready to invest in this area, to greatly improve your knowledge on taking photos and videos a little more professionally. I personally followed the training from contentcreator.com website, which remains at a very affordable price given the richness of its content. I warmly recommend it to you. Before moving on to the practical exercises of this lesson, let's talk together about a possible alternative to taking photos. You do indeed have the possibility within Studio to directly generate images with a photorealistic rendering. Even if I recommend taking real photos, this can be an interesting alternative if you do not want to deploy all your shooting equipment or do a dedicated photo shoot. To generate an image with a photorealistic rendering in Studio, you must go to the Studio Building interface and click on the Render button. Choose your settings and launch the generation of a photo from Studio. I advise you to do some tests with the different settings to visualize which ones are the most relevant for you. The time to generate the photo will depend on your technical configuration and the settings you have chosen, such as resolution, image quality, adding drop shadows, etc. Obviously, the lower your settings, the faster the photo generation will be. My recommended configuration, which is the one I use when generating photos for my 3D models, is as follows. Photorealistic mode, high image size, 1920, x 1080 resolution in 16.9 mode, transparent background, floor shadows, building light, and left front lighting. And with UV degradation and part scratches both disabled. This configuration allows me to get nice photos for my models without having to take out my camera. Last tip, I usually place the model in the middle at the top of the photo, leaving empty space all around the model, especially below and on the sides. This allows me to not have my drop shadows clipped in the image that is generated by Studio. If you are hesitant to go for one photo generation mode rather than another, I'll let you look at this quick comparison of the different renderings for the Lego duck model on the screen. As you can see, the difference on a small model in terms of quality and resolution is not necessarily very convincing. This may therefore reassure some of you who have small technical configurations and who can only choose low resolution options so as not to have to wait an hour for the generation of their images. You can also see that the generation in POV-Ray mode gives a fairly relevant rendering. The advantage of this solution is clearly its speed compared to photorealistic generation, which requires much more technical resources. The final rendering is a little less realistic, but this can be sufficient in certain situations. I did the same rendering comparison on the Lego Roses MOC, which we recreated previously in this training course. I'll let you do the comparison between the different renderings. I'll also let you do your own tests on your models to determine which option is best for you. Okay, let's move on to our first practical exercise of this lesson. You have obviously understood that this exercise will consist of taking the best possible photos for your Lego MOCs. To do this exercise, start by taking photos as you usually take them for your Lego MOCs without applying any of the tips mentioned in this lesson. If necessary, quickly review the many tips I gave you in this lesson and apply them to your photo shoot session to take better photos of your Lego MOC. Work on the background, the light, the shooting angles, the stability of the photo, the zoom, etc. Compare the results of the 2 photo shoots and appreciate the significant improvement in the quality of your shots. You can also estimate the budget you are willing to allocate to improve your photo setup. You don't have to invest in all the areas I listed above, but your photo shoots can give you some ideas to choose some in which you think investing will save you time. You can share your before-after photos with other members of the BRICKSBIZ community by following the forum link that appears below. This will allow you to get additional advice and feedback on your shots. I'll let you pause this video, grab your camera or smartphone, and start a little impromptu photography session. Now let's move on to the second practical session of this lesson. The aim of this exercise is to make you familiar with the generation of photorealistic images generated out of the studio software. Open your own Lego MOC file and press the render button in the toolbar. Choose the correct orientation for your 3D model using the right button of your mouse in the area labeled Preview. Test several settings and generate several images in photorealistic rendering or POV-Ray rendering. Compare the different generated images and save the configuration that seems most relevant to you in terms of rendering and generation speed. I'll let you pause this video to do your tests. We've come to the end of this lesson on improving your photos. I hope you've learned plenty of tips to enhance your photos without breaking the bank and to make your future prospects fall in love with buying your building instructions. Before we move on to the next video, make sure you've taken 10-15 minutes to try out some of the tips I've shared in this video, even if it's not on your own Lego MOC, but on an everyday object. Feel free to revisit the tips you've learned in this lesson and think about potential investments you're willing to make to improve your overall shooting setup. In the next video, we'll talk about another important element that will continue to convince your prospects to open their wallets: video creation. I'll see you right away in this new video from the BRICKSBIZ training. This video was taken from the BRICKSBIZ training course. If you'd like to discover the full richness of this training course and learn how to create and develop a business around your Lego, you can follow the link that appears just below this video. You'll be able to join a community of experts and generate your first dollars in less than 4 weeks. As for me, I'll see you in a new free video on the BRICKSBIZ YouTube channel. You can watch the video by clicking on the link on the screen.